All right, I'm doing a carpet cleaning job today. It's just this one room. It's a studio apartment that's behind another house. And the tenant that lived here for 3 years, and he had a cat. There isn't really a cat urine smell. There's only a very slight odor that some kind of animal lived here. But it's not a typical urine smell. It's just a very slight animal odor. The people who owned it said that they've had the windows open for about the last week and a half, letting it air out. And it's not as bad as it was, but there's still just a little bit of an odor. One of the owners, he was a little bit concerned that the carpet just needed to be ripped up. So he wanted me to come by and see what I thought. And since there really is only a very slight odor, I think cleaning is gonna keep them from having to replace the carpet. I am gonna be vacuuming before I clean it. The lady that owns the house is a housekeeper, and she's already vacuumed the carpet, so I'm sure she probably did a pretty good job, but I want to be able to get out any loose animal fur or anything like that that could be contributing to the odor. And I'm going to speed the vacuuming up by 50%, so if anybody wants to watch the vacuuming in real time, you can cut the playback speed on YouTube down to like half, and it'll be real time. For my pre-spray, I'm going to be using Grime Release Pro and Unbelievable Rids odor with the lavender scent. The customers are really liking the lavender. I bought a gallon of it last time I was at the supply house. And so I'm trying it out. It's not quite as strong as the spiced green tea that I've been using, but the customers are really liking it. So I put it down pretty heavy in here. All right, let's move on to the electric truck mount. And by the way, this job was super easy. You know, a lot of times jobs are real pain in the butts to set up, but I was able to back the trailer up and run straight in. And while these jobs do happen sometimes, there's definitely not enough of them. I did a tile job yesterday that was a major cluster to try to get set up with all kind of running hoses all over the place. But the electric truck mount is basically the same as it's been. I think I might have mentioned this in a previous video, but the hose reel has definitely seen better days. Got some rust here that's all the way through. Let's see, is there any more that's rusted through? But it's definitely on the tail end of its lifespan. And if you look right in here, the little bars that went through to the other side for the vacuum hose, they all completely rusted away. So I took some flat aluminum binnit and I put those all the way around. And it's holding up pretty good, but you can see right in, well, I don't know if you can see, but right in here, it's kind of bowed a little bit. And it's been like this for about a year. So it is holding, but ultimately it's not going to be the final solution to keeping the hose reel going. At some point, I'm going to have to replace the hose reel. As far as changes, I'm very seriously considering carrying some fresh water. I've played with rearranging the trailer in different configurations on a couple of different occasions, and I just cannot find any way to do this any better. I need to be able to have access to my heater and my vacuum box and my pump at that door. I need to be able to have the generator exhaust out the back and have access to my hose reel. So I don't think that there's a better way to set the trailer up. Now, to get fresh water, probably the ideal thing to do would be to get another one of these mighty tanks and mount them side by side. However, I don't want to spend the $800 or $900 to get one of those, including shipping, because I mean shipping's gonna be pretty expensive on those. So what I'm probably going to do is get a 55-gallon plastic drum and mount it right here in this otherwise wasted space. Now, I do have a crate here with some spray bottles and spare parts. I have most of the small parts like quick connects, tape, fittings, I keep in there, but that can be moved anywhere. So I think I'm going to get a 55-gallon drum and mount it right here using some flat bar and some angle, similar to how TCS does with their 55-gallon drums that come with their machines. The other thing that I may consider doing is making a vacuum booster box, and it's going to be a pass-through design, meaning the dirty water will flow through it. Because I could always add another vacuum here at the vacuum box, but I want to build one where the vacuum is closer to the wand. I do have a mighty vacuum booster that I bought probably 4 or 5 years ago that I've never used. And the reason that I don't use it is, number one, it takes up 2 cords, but I just don't have a place to keep it in my trailer. So it's just not practical. It's brand new. I checked it to make sure it worked when I had it, and it's been sitting ever since. But I want to build a smaller version of that with a single vac to put close to the wine. Now that project is probably a little further away, but the next thing I want to do is get that fresh water tank. Other than that, everything is still pretty much the same, using 116 765 13 vacuum motors. I'm running 2 of those, the Pump Tech Water Otter 1200 psi pump, and the Little Giant #2 water heater. I also want to mention that if this place smelled like cat urine, I would not be running the vacuum cleaner over it. All right, looks a little bit better. They definitely have some pretty heavy wear right here, but other than that, it doesn't look too bad. There is something right here. It's kind of a orangey yellow looking at it in person, so I don't know if it's a urine stain. Doesn't really smell in here, so it still could be urine, but I don't really smell cat urine, so I don't know if it's a drink spill or something else. Before I go get the truck mount turned on, I'm going to go ahead and pre-spray so I can give this about 12 or 15 minutes of dwell time. I laid the pre-spray down pretty heavy in here. There's a very strong odor of lavender, but that's not going to stick around for too long after I clean the carpet. I'll also say that this is year 4 of me using the Pump Zero sprayer. I got 3 years out of the first pump head. This is the second pump head that I bought. It's still the original bottle, but I bought a new pump head after about 3 years. The first one just gave up the ghost. And if you use one of these, you already know that it's a very slow sprayer, like painfully slow. But given the alternative of having to pump up, I'll take slow spraying any day. And I have used the Works sprayer before. Works is okay, but it puts down way too much pre-spray for me. No matter how fast I try to move it, it puts down too much pre-spray. So I've pretty much decided as long as they make Pump Zeros, I'll continue using those unless I come across something better, and as of yet, I haven't. All right, I gotta go set my pump because yesterday I had a tile job and I had it set up to 1200 psi. And the way I set it is I've got this jumper hose that I bought off of eBay. and I plug it directly into the pump. And then I take my stair tool, because it's just the smallest tool that I have on the trailer, because I don't like cleaning upholstery. Plug that in, and then I turn the pump on and I can adjust my pressure. All right, I am done. And it is looking considerably better and smells considerably better. The lavender scent has definitely backed off some, but it's still going to be here for a little while because that unbelievable Ritz odor, it lasts, I can't give you a time frame, but it lasts for a little while. I do want to say that every now and then I get comments on my wand strokes, or I'm moving the wand too fast, or whatever it is their complaint is. But you have to remember that I clean at between 550 and 600 psi. So I'm moving a fair amount of water. My AW29 2-jet wand has 0.3 jets on it. So it's not flooding the carpet, but at 550 to 600 psi with 203 jets, it's putting out a good bit of water. And plus I'm doing forward wet stroke and back wet strokes. So if I slow down my wand stroke, I'm very likely going to saturate the backing of the carpet and possibly into the padding. But really, I've been very successful at cleaning at that PSI with the 2-jet wand with the 0.3 jets. So if it's not broke, I'm not going to fix it, but that's just the way I wand, and it works out pretty well. The spot over here came out even better than I thought it would. When I was stepping on the carpet earlier, I could feel how thin it had gotten from having a chair or something right there in the front. And I can see it's just a little bit darker in that area, not too much. There are those spots like right there and right here that's just the shading. It's not spots or anything like that. There's a spot over there, but it's just an indentation. It's not a spot. Another one over there, another one over there. And over there, there's something black, but it is a burn in the carpet. But as an overall, I think the homeowner is going to be happy with the way it looks and with the way it smells. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.